Waiting for a stream like you to come and ruin oh. Let's go ahead and have a Celsius. Look, there's something about this can that says hydration. Like, I was under the impression this was like supposed to be for hydration, and instead it's really just shit. Well, it's that too. What kind of mess did I just make over here? Oh, damn it. It's really just like Dwayne Johnson's energy drink all over again. Like the same sort of thing, but skinny small can or whatever. All of them really taste alike. New to here says hi. Hello. Refresh me on what the topics on this. Look, I've been struggling to stay awake at all. I tried to take like a 20-minute nap before this because I get like an hour of sleep a night and then I just crash at sundown like I'm some kind of reverse vampire like they mentioned in The Simpsons. Dawn came in as I was hitting in chat or sign off or whatever last week. And you're like, oh, am I too late? And I'm like, I've got my finger. And I'm like, you're too late. Screw it. What all we talking about here? Finally back. Did you watch Game of Thrones? No, I watched 3 episodes, which means I watched as much Game of Thrones as a 3-hour movie, which I feel like enough to chime in on it. But I was told by the community, oh, if you didn't read all the books and watch every episode, then you really don't have anything to say. And that is stupid. And I saw this. Okay, look, we know no one's watching, so let's go ahead and say it. Bella Ramsey, is that her name? Okay. Okay, mean. Is she not the most hideous actress going right now? I mean, okay, sequester her to HBO, knock off 10 Years Too Late, Walking Dead. Go ahead, fine, be in that. But now I have to see her in a commercial, and I think it's for an Apple product. Like new Apple iPhone, or some smartphone. And she's over there, oh, I'm so popular, and all these guys want to talk to me, and this guy's obviously older than me. Where did I meet him from? Oh, hey, it's you. Or yeah, I totally remember. Wow, she is brutal on the eyes. And I can't be the only one thinking that. I saw some other clip. Evidently, she was in Game of Thrones, and she's fighting some giant. And they're showing the behind-the-scenes effect. And she's doing the pendulum from the new clock. And I'm trying to find the gif of that to put in the replies. It's like, oh, she's so good. I wish her character didn't die. She's so strong. And I'm like, why is she doing the New Kids on the Block dance? And I couldn't get the gif of that. I'm typing in New Kids on the Block dance. NKO2B or whatever. Nothing was coming up. And I am on crazy pills. This is that now. Jesus. Now she's got shoved down my throat. And she's going to she's going to have to be in the new Star Wars. I get to be Rey's daughter. Like shit like that's going to happen. And poor Caitlin Denver, right? Devers, something. She was a sweet girl. She was on Tim Allen's second chance show, Last Man Standing, played youngest daughter. Wasn't bad. And she has cast as like the bull dyke that is going to destroy the franchise that all PlayStation kids were complaining about in the Last of Us Part 2. It's an exercise in Okay, let's get through the questions here. Christ. My God. Don't even bring up Game of Thrones. No, I didn't watch The Wire. I'm white. You know what? They'll always run into these who, oh, you didn't like The Wire? Well, we have to fight now. How do I keep running into these people? These people exist that are like The Wire, a show no one mentions in person until it has been canceled for 10, 20 years. and then you have to fight you if you don't like it. I'm running into those people. Isn't that the thing? Yeah, my Street Fighter was Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. Street Fighter Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, the best video game movie? No, Christ, no. It's among the worst. Why do you get? I don't know. Because look, well, for one, a couple years ago, I developed a bad habit of not being able to sleep unless I'm listening to a podcast. So I have to have something in my ear talking about garbage, and that's how I go sleep. But I can't. I can't get 8 hours. I might get 1 or 2, and something comes up. But I haven't really been in a wake state in a week. Also, I probably have pre-diabetes. I'm getting a lot of numbness in my fingers, but I'm not getting the weird dark spots. It mentions that as a symptom. Haven't gotten that. Vision's been blurry, numbness, and then I'm kind of realizing that I almost exclusively drink sugar. So that, right? What's the goal of your channel? To not die yet? Were you serious about? Yeah, I've got to get out of gaming. I've got to come up with some ways to segue out of all of this nothing that I do, right? Look at the amount of time I put into Overwatch. You know, people say things like, look at, if you have a certain number of tweets, you could have written a novel with as many words, right? As much time as I put into Overwatch, I could have had like 5 PhD shit. So no, I haven't watched The Wire. Watch Japanese streamers at midnight. Oh, that'll put you. Would you rather be president for 8 years or a Spartan 2, but you live in? I'd be the Spartan 2. I've come to realize that the president doesn't actually have power. Look at Oprah. She has Kamala Harris on her show. They made up a show for her to have. It was a god. And it's really kind of like they put these people in place because they're temporary. But the people that have the control, they're eternal, right? So Oprah doesn't need to run for president. She makes the president do what she wants, right? And that's kind of the way that sort of thing goes down. So you just have puppets now running. And then you can have like Donald Trump he's very much doomed to serve himself, or you can get a puppet. And it's you don't have a great option either way. I don't think fathers figured this would be the case, that there would be people controlling the president in the way that we have it now. So also, I'm very excited about the Diddy tapes. Bring on the Diddy tapes. I want LeBron going down on Justin Bieber, leaked online. I want careers. I want all the no talent hacks to be exposed. Bring it. Can't wait. So yeah, I'm sure Diddy will accidentally have an outage at the prison he's kept in and be woke. Oh, hey, when we go check on him, he's hung himself. That's weird. Am I right? Keep it morbid, guys. Would you rather date Sophie? Oh God, Anna Taylor-Joy. I could handle that. The eyes are a little apart, but she's one of the better actresses going right now. She doesn't strike me as a total slut. But I would say she has been groomed by that, is his name Eggers? Yeah. First role, huh? First role, you're a witch who frolics around naked in the woods, and I'm going to keep having you do similar shit. Okay, yeah. Casting you at what age to do this? Yeah, let's think about this a little. Is HBO overrated and now over? I wasn't into Game of Thrones, but it seems... I'm hoping this is sounds good here, guys. Seems like they won't have a mass audience show now. The TV is dead. I think The Last of Us is kind of serving as that show for right now. If it's not, I'm not sure what it is. Sometimes it takes a little bit for this to gain traction. I think Game of Thrones was crazy popular until, 3 seasons in or something? It kind of took a little while, didn't it? It seemed like it took a little bit. I'm trying to turn my head so I don't have this weird shadow over here. But I'm also shooting into the corner of my backdrop. I kind of thought, well, I'd give that a try once, right? Who is hotter, Elle Fanning or Dakota Fanning? Dakota Fanning, and not even close. Would you rather marry Florence Pugh, God no, or watch Critical Drinker videos for every day for first? Dawn, how many accounts do you have? Christ. I mean, because I feel like this is a Dawn question here. You didn't say divorce was out of the question, so I guess I'd have to Gnome Florence Pugh. I'm also sick of the propaganda being spread about who's attractive now. I'm doing a video on this. I'm going to shoot it soon, okay? 90s hot. I was just perusing Tubi, watching sleazy 90s straight-to-video Drek, and there's just babes. We had more babes than we knew with. We couldn't put everybody in a damn movie, but we made movies back. But, I mean, shit, it was just babes, babes, babes all over the damn place. And now we don't have any. Now we have a goddamn garbage gnome, and we're acting like she's a total babe. Okay, sure. They try to put, yeah, but then Django comes right here with me. They try to push a lot of basic women who push the stuff that, hey, I'm Florence Pugh. I have a chubby face and I can't wear wait, hold on. All my clothes are transparent. I can't wear opaque clothing. I get to be naked on IMAX first. Shit. Oh, God. What's your thoughts on the Thunderbolts trailer? I watched a couple seconds of it. I can't watch these Marvel trailers. Not that I intend to watch the movies, but I may end up watching the movie, and the trailer straight ruins they can't cut a Marvel. You can't do it. It gives away everything, and the end of it, I mean, you'll be like, oh, well, they haven't done the bit where the plane crashes yet, so that he can't be dead. It's a fake out. You'll see everything. Know how to make a trailer over there at Marvel. They're actually the worst at it. So I would say not watching. I'm sure they probably have the scene there where fifth actor playing Thunderbolt at this point or something, but they've got him throwing Captain America's shield down. I've seen that clip. That was like an early leak, something like this, right? Is the Thunderbolt supposed to be some goofy... it was kind of like Suicide Squad. Like, it was giving Suicide Squad vibes, so I'm imagining it probably has a classic rock song in the trailer. Is that how it works? Everybody loved that Suicide Squad trailer. Played a song you like. Whoa, they're playing Queen. I like Bohemian Rhapsody too. Shit. It's that easy to please the masses. Oh, speaking of critical drink, there's getting to be some pushback. I seem to have led the way, and no one notices, but I saw he was responding to a tweet. Some guy was like, hey, it's Review Tuesday. Time for you to put your review out after you gauge the way he wants you to talk about it. And he's like, no, I just have other things to do. Bullshit. If you have 1 million subs on your channel and you can't put a review out on ahead of release day of a movie or on the day of release or something is wrong with you. You are playing people. Christ's sake. Okay. What else are we... Let me scroll through here now. I don't like this hanging. I know that there's only 2 of you talking with different accounts. I know that. What's your thoughts on the Thunderbolts trailer? Is Gwendolyn Vista Nathan, the girl from Drive-Away Dolls, hot to you? I have Drive-Away Dolls saved on whatever service it's on to watch. I'm assuming I'm not going to like it. But I added it to my list because it was something newish, and I figure I could talk about it. Sometimes I watch... I mean, it is remarkable how unpopular a lot of new movies are. I know that one, like, it didn't make a dime. But I watched... the one with the female Fight Club high schoolers. It was so incongruent. It was just trash. And I got a copyright strike for it, pointing out how badly it's written. Because there's a way to do it. and I can't, was it, I'm thinking Grifters. Bottoms, that was it. Nobody watched the review. If the movie's too unpopular, watch. That's what happens. But if you had an audience or critical drinker, you could actually shine a light on things. But you don't. So, yeah, I'm the bad guy for pointing this out. That's right. There are 3 people in this world who figured out I'm not the bad guy. They're here to. Last of Us was never good. I'm assuming that's the case. It's like, I don't see, even, okay, the fame, it's like we're doing the zombie thing again in a time where we have 8 zombie games. And but this one's taking it really seriously. And it's a PlayStation exclusive, so you know it's serious. And then they have to go make a show about it late. Did we not get sick of The Walking Dead being the most boring thing on TV? Martin Scorsese, the best director ever? No. I would say most people, it wouldn't be a stretch for most people to assume Steven Spielberg. He makes a lot of schmaltzy stuff, and I think that John Williams' score actually drives a lot of the emotion that you have. The emotion carries everything and makes it, the score makes it sounds more exciting than it may be without the music. Rescore Indiana Jones the way we do shit now, where it plays a generic rap song instead of having a score, and you might not actually like the movies. Like, there certainly are some ways where it's like things feel slow with a Spielberg film, but I think most people would say he's the best director. I think James Cameron's better. James Cameron gets outside of his comfort zone on occasion. I think he wants to make a train movie, which is, and I mentioned this last week, but Rob Lowe was on a podcast years back. I think he was talking to Adam Carolla, because it was only listening to 2 podcasts at the time, Adam Carolla, Bill Burr. And he was saying in like 99, shortly after Titanic was, a massive hit, he was having a talk with James Cameron, and he was pitching him some movie about a train. He's like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is the most amazing thing. I want to make this." And then the West Wing started, and Rob Lowe's in it, and he got sidetracked and never wrote his train script. And I'm like, I would probably have said screw the train thing, but now James Cameron wants to make a movie about a train out of Hiroshima. I think it's supposed to be about a true story about a guy that survived the atomic bomb at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So incredibly unlucky dude, or lucky, depends on how you look at it. What is the next place you go to? Are they going to get bombed too? Like, you can't put them on a train? I don't know how that seems like it's going to be exciting or anything, but you get that Oppenheimer couldn't have played too well to the Japanese crowd. Maybe this plays better internationally than America. But the weird thing is, I think there's 2 novels and one of them's yet to be written. Or there's one book and it's yet to be written, but the movie's based on it. A movie based on a book that hasn't been written. And I also kind of feel like James Cameron will probably weasel out of actually directing it. It'll be, oh, well, that's a cool idea. I'm going to pawn that off to somebody else to direct. How he was going to do Battle Angel and then didn't. Things like that. So, I mean, can't blame him when your reputation is your movies have to make $2 billion. Where do you go from there, right? So, yeah, that's stuff, isn't it? I've got this angled down so far, it looks stupid, doesn't it? I should crank this up, but then you can kind of see I didn't pull my backdrop up high enough. It's going to look like crap, so I don't know. So The Wire wasn't good. I haven't seen The Wire. But I don't really care to, honestly. It's in Baltimore. It's a miserable place, whatever. Did comic book movies lead to the downfall of modern cinema? Kind of. I'm thinking a lot of things have lately. There seems to be contributing factors. The problem is whenever you think there is one reason, someone will argue that the reason was something else. But there's contributing factors. Certainly the comic book and having to make everything a franchise and making your movie feel like it is just a teaser for the next thing to take your money. It's certainly a big part of it. Django, I almost fell asleep watching the first episode of The Wire, but people are bringing it up again. I'm assuming that The Wire is about wiretapping, and these guys have to listen to the drug lord's phones. Is that to which the name comes? Because why else would it be called The Wire? I don't know. Also, I'm not too keen on stuff that starts with the. A little played out. Who is better at director, Steven Spielberg or Christopher Nolan? Oh, shit. Christopher Nolan will only make the most important movie ever. Steven Spielberg certainly has more range. But because he's way more prolific, and I don't know why I can't pronounce in the last couple months, I never had a speech problem until late. It was like once I started getting teeth problems, even fixing them, I just can't. Prolific. Man, there are some bad Spielberg things though, but then you know when you think about the good stuff too. I mean, you're probably better off watching there's way more Spielberg stuff to watch. By the way, I do have a short, probably early next week, explaining Interstellar to people because people haven't seemed to figure out that movie. Would you rather date Ana de Armas or Elle Fanning? Let's see. De Armas, everyone has seen naked. You could also, everyone has seen Elle Fanning. That's a possibility also. But Ana at least has a cute face, so I will go with Ana, unless it's pronounced Anna, to which I never really care to learn. The deceased actor Jason Dave Frank, who played the Green Ranger and White Ranger, last film came out called Legend of the White Dragon. Well, I didn't know that was a thing. Dead for what, a couple of years? Or am I wrong there? Which really strange. Because he seemed to have been the champion of the Power Rangers. Like, he was the most, goes to the conventions, wants to be on all the projects, seemed to be a lively guy, and then dies of suicide. That was suicide, right? That's what they said. Or that was his case, right? Like, just seems weird, doesn't it? You ever plan to have children? I would have, but evidently that's not happening. Does your mom want grandchildren? Yes. Have you ever experienced heartbreak from a girl? Certainly. How the hell do you get here with that, right? Advice for new YouTube creators trying to strike in the movie, TV, entertainment sector of content. I actually shared a thing today about reviews being dead. So, I went on a rant about that when I was shooting earlier today. So I would say don't review anything. You can't give a score that will satisfy your audience. Having conviction to stand by a rating system that YouTube does not want you rating stuff. The media does not want you rating things because you're going to anything but glowing reviews. They don't want anything about it. They will deny your access. You'll get copyright strikes, whatever. Soon enough, shit, Kamala gets in charge. Wait. Oh yeah, she gets to be president. There'll be laws against saying bad things about movies. It'll be hate speech to dislike Inside Out 3. Like, things like that will happen. I mean, I foresaw this coming. Like, hey, why would the companies let you say bad stuff about their products, right? So, it'll get twisted around. So, if you want to be a YouTuber in the movie review space, you can't say anything decisive. You could have a retrospective 45-minute videos people don't watch that they put on and while they do chores and they have it playing in the background. That's where the money is. The algorithm loves massive time watched space to fill. The more ads, the better. The algorithm loves it. So that's what they want. And then you don't even have to write jokes. You can just insert shot clips from movies and have a static sound in between, like you're flipping through channels. People love that shit. What do we know about the Diddy stories yet? That Meek Mill is a Q. I think the big play here is that Diddy is the gay and has things he's doing to other guys, but it appears this could be like some kind of CIA operations kind of thing where they want it. Okay, in order for you to stay out of jail, Diddy, you have to go get dirt on everybody else. So he went and did that. Nobody's like a Diddy party or something, right? So he's got people going over there getting strung out on drugs so that they can get in compromising situations. Can then be controlled by the feds. Things like that. I think that's more likely. I think Hollywood was always a cesspool. Hitchcock thought very little of actors and actresses. He's probably right. Oh, and that made him a jerk. So yeah. And one of the good directors never got nominated for an Oscar, if I remember right. He didn't win one. He might have gotten like a lifetime achievement thing. Sometimes they do that when you don't win, right? They're like, oh, Buster Keaton, real shame you never won an Oscar. Lifetime achievement. Here you go. What advice would you give a young guy who is about to finish high school? That's not you, Dawn. What the shit? Aren't you like closer to my age? Advice to young guys. Okay. Let's see. Well, college is not what everybody told you it would be. I think that the people has been pulled off our eyes on the college scam. It is just a socializing fest. So if you're not going to one where you get massive socializing and you definitely get trade school type preparedness, then you're wasting your time spinning your wheels on that, and you're just going to go in debt so you can keep the system afloat. So there's that. I guess that's decent enough advice for the young man. Django says Game of Thrones success always felt astroturfed. They campaigned more to bring down The Walking Dead, if anything. That was a natural success initially. The Walking Dead, it started off better than it ever got, right? So, oh yeah, hey, let's let the director of The Green Mile make a zombie show. Oh wait, after he has a good first season, let's yank that away from him. The hell? And now I have to see commercials for AMC Plus. Like, AMC needs a streaming service. Your shit should just be on some else's. You don't have enough. Oh, who needs to see repeatedly Mad Men, right? Like, how many shows do you have that can keep this afloat? I'm surprised it's still a thing. Game of Thrones, even when like, both these shows were pulling big numbers for their respective departments, I guess. Because it's kind of like HBO, how many people could actually watch it? It was kind of like, and I guess nowadays, if you looked back on The Sopranos, which I never really cared for, it's Sopranos is budget Goodfellas. Let's put a lot of actors from Goodfellas in a thing, and it'll come across as more goofy than it should, and and that's what Sopranos is. But they don't really put numbers because it's a premium cable thing that very few people actually have compared to even basic cable, which doesn't pull numbers in related broadcast networks. So, but I know The Walking Dead at one point was the biggest show on TV, is probably getting like 10 million viewers, which at a time, let's see, if that was 10 years ago, that was considered good. Now shit doesn't get nothing unless it's NFL football, right? So I don't know of what of those was a natural thing. I don't know. I mean, I know the Game of Thrones people had their thing. Hey, we want more Lord of the Rings, but edgy. Okay, we got it. And that's what Game of Thrones is. It's edgy Lord of the Rings. Hey, you want Lord of the Rings with the nakedness? Come over here to HBO. Theater in Hollywood now cast themselves. Probably, yeah. Why don't you move to Argentina? The women are pure Italian and Spanish. It's safe, hot, and it's cheap to live. It sounds dangerous. I don't speak anything but English well, but I sometimes occasionally feel like I understand German. So it's weird. So removed from any German classes in high school and college, yeah, I feel like I know it now than when I was forced to learn it. Will you watch 28 Days Later Part 3 titled 28 Years Later? You know, they missed the boat on 28 months later. They really did. I probably won't. I certainly thought the first movie was better than the second. But, I mean, it's just more zombie stuff, right? But they're ring zombies. I think movies will have a resurgence with Gen Alpha. Oh my, are we really calling them that? Can we call them Alpha 5 for the hell of it? Or will they be social media obsessed like Gen Z? Probably continue along the Gen Z thing. I mean, I'm just thinking like, even like you mentioned, like a movie review type channel, that's a boomer media, man. That's as boomer media as going to the movie theater. Reviewing movies is boomer media on YouTube. I'm going to clip that even though I already said something about it earlier today. I was going to post later, whatever. Also, they are working on Karate Kid with Ralph Macchio, the original, and Jackie Chan. I have no idea why. So those are shared universe. At least he was what, Mr. Han or Mr. Hong or something? He was Mr. Miyagi over there in China, right? So I really just don't understand why they had to call that movie, because I thought it was actually pretty decent. A few things kind of bothered, but overall it was better than I expected. And I know internationally it's known as the Kung Fu Kid, which, spoilers, he's learning Kung Fu, not karate, to me. Oh, but if we didn't call it Karate Kid, people wouldn't watch it. It'd make a shitload of money called The Karate Kid either. And Jackie Chan probably turned in his best performance ever. But you soiled that by calling it The Karate Kid. So screw you. I mean, look, we've got part 2 of the season 6 of Cobra Kai is going to be all Saquon Taekwon or whatever. And it's like, we know one of our guys has to win, right? Because if this is the end of the road, we can't let the bad win. There's no coming back for the good guys to win. So, you know, Miguel or whoever's going to win. Hell, they might let Dimitri win, right? But everybody else is going to have more screen time anyway. But point I'm getting at is it's... And also, it looked Baywatch Nights cheap at times. Like, this was fighting the snake. Like, just brutally cheap for alleged hit Netflix show. I don't know what happens over there at Netflix, how things get made or approved or whatever, but it's not feeling like a hit show a lot of times, does it? You know they didn't go to Barcelona, right? Like, also, they were, working on that. Yeah, I have no idea what... I'm assuming that's a movie. What, Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan have to both train kids? I don't know. You know Ralph Macchio has nothing to do. Jackie Chan, I feel like, could do something else. He didn't hitch his star to this. Like, the Karate Kid didn't make Jackie Chan. He has other things he can be doing. Would you rather date AOC or Sydney Sweeney? Sydney Sweeney would drive me less insane, but I am curious about AOC's rack. And I know she's into white guys. I'm going to go AOC on that one. Is Cara Delevingne hot to you? No, but she can play the guitar behind her head. Johns reviewed that Matt Walsh movie and people were giving him props. Perhaps that... No. I heard... Okay, so some people were giving him props, but I think the controversy was that you're getting canceled for even talking about that movie because it's almost like a... The cancel speeches in a way in which you're platforming Matt Walsh by talking about his movie. So therefore, you're bad. I was thinking about actually watching that, but I mean, you kind of know everything already. It's weird though. Like, look at the way the media covers that. Oh, it's amazing when Sacha Baron Cohen goes undercover and manipulates white, the right wingers in the South and all these people. That's just good fun. But when a right wing guy does it to, oh well, that's deceitful. Oh, okay, sure. James Gunn, next film is going to be Superman. Thoughts? Watching it because that bitch Rachel Brosnahan, who, by the way, look at my channel. I have receipts. She's a dumbass. Yeah, not watching it for that. They found some guy living in a Superman who doesn't, I mean, I can't say if he's a bad actor or a bad dude, whatever. It just seems weird. Like, does he, at this point, when there's a nobody that gets a role like that, you wonder, was there sexual favors transferred, right? At this point, that's really what you got to think. You got to think that there's some kind of dirt, right? And then he'll be manipulated, right? Do you think Tarantino was right when he said streaming movies exist outside of the mainstream? I don't recall him saying that. But can you clarify that statement? It sounds to me like maybe what he's implying there is when we release movies streaming, the collective consciousness, we don't have this running narrative of that summer when everybody saw Jurassic Park. It seems like you have to have the tentpole event that captivates the people and everybody watches it. Or you release things online, people watch at their leisure, which ultimately doesn't really come out that way. Instead, it seems like everybody watches the thing the week it comes out. The series is only relevant the week it comes out. And then after that, you have to wait 2 years to talk about it again. So he's not entirely right or wrong on this, but it certainly seems like having access to these things in our house gives them less prestige. So there is that aspect to it, sure. Don says, hey, what's your favorite Mission Impossible movie? Oh, probably Fallout. It just seemed really intense. Like, that was some edge of seat shit right there. This last one I didn't like. I haven't gotten around to making a video on it, but it was so full of, that bitch from the Galaxy 2 is not going to be bad. She'll get conked on the head and become good or whatever. And I had said something about, hey, what happened to car chases? And that movie did have a car chase. But I don't think we're allowed to have car chases in America. That's got to be the explanation why a movie called Bad Boys Ride or Die, a franchise known for car chases, Ride or Die is a title not having a car chase. Like, shit. How do you screw this up? Yeah, so there's something up with car chases. We can't get real car chase in the United States. That's got to be the thing. Hold on, I'll get to everybody here. Mia Goth or Hawk Tua. The voice is annoying, but she has brows. However, given my circumstance here, if I had offspring with Mia Goth, which boy I want to, it would level out the damage, wouldn't it? They'd with decent eyebrows, like, normal. Did you get angry that girls like the Hawk Tua girl get passed in sponsorship while you only have 20K subs, even though you are more talented and intelligent? Dawn, are you on every account here? Like, that's the way this feels. But no, everything angry. Like, I'm honestly, I'm basically like Joker. Like, everything makes me angry and laugh. It's kind of a shit, here we go again. Like, yeah, I mean, it's weird to think the girl interviewed on the street is the one that takes off and not the guy doing the show. Hell, do we even know who that guy was? Jaywalking, the segment on The Tonight Show. This was a regular occurrence. People didn't become megastars out of it. I I guess they wanted to put her in movies, but she was shrewd enough to not want to be in movies. I will address this movie and not doing movies thing in a short next week. I shot a bunch of shorts today because I wanted to. And I didn't have a ton of things to say on these topics, so I made them shorts and they're coming. And I don't think you guys get notified of this, but it expands the audience. Like I post a short, I gain a few subs. So they tend to take off initially quickly, the way the alg thing sets up and whatever. But yeah, Huck Tua girl, Haley Welch, is it Welch or Welk? I don't know. She was offered to get put in some movies, and they're like, she told her agent, tell them I'm not an actress. I'm not doing that. And now she's got Talk Tua. It's weird to think that is the podcast out? Because I need to listen to a podcast to fall asleep. Maybe I can do that. But did we wait too long? Weird to think that it's not like this is 2 years later. Like it's all, the 15 minutes dries up fast now. Your 15 minutes is over. So I don't know if we waited too long on her. She kind of dirty sweet. Like maybe she was making that stuff up. I don't know. She does seem more innocent than a lot of other people out there, or at least genuine. Genuine still sells. Genuine doesn't necessarily prevail, look at me, but it still does something. So genuine and kind of cute, says something to people. I can kind of see how that worked out for her. And I'm probably not going to do this haircut again. Got it way too short on the side. It looks a little bizarre. But then again, when it gets into medium length, it looks like crap. When it gets long enough, I don't have the patience to get to the David Coverdale Whitesnake look that I want. You know, I just can't get there, guys. Don says, whether have 1 million subs demonetized or 100,000 in the bank. I'll take the 1 million subs demonetized. You can do a lot with, look, and also I kind of talked about this in the video I shot, but about review over, but there certainly is money to be made on YouTube. And I'm finding out that part of it, if I have a product review and I like the product and I've got a link to it on Amazon and whatever, I can get ads from YouTube that are very effective at driving sales. And so I don't have to do anything as sleazy as a drop ship, but more like the cut of the affiliate action in of itself is so much better than YouTube ad revenue. So you could do fine demonetized on YouTube now. And I think YouTube wants to become like Home Shopping Network. It wants to be QVC. They're okay. YouTube has actually ran a lot of things through me that I'm testing for them. And it feels to me like they are wanting to shift this into a different gear. That the things you talk about are going to be listed as products, like when you make them, and people are going to sit on YouTube and buy from places, Nordstrom, Target, Walmart, Lowe's, and some of those companies come up. They're doing battle with Amazon is what this comes down to. They are bypassing Amazon and wanting to become a shopping destination. So there's... Have you watched the Netflix series called You? The chick in it looks decent. The guy, I know he's around. He was in Easy, which sucked. But you like it because it reminded you of John Hughes. But I haven't watched You. And I've heard like the jokes. It's like, You? I have a show? No, it's called You. I don't have... No, You. Like, yeah, okay. Who's on first? I think The Walking Dead ran out of movie by the last season. Ran out of movie. It looked worse than Sci-Fi Channel shows. Had so much wokeness at it. I can recall where I left off. I think the last thing I saw was the tall country music singer who was like a tall zombie-like dude, imposing dude. I think he got killed. I think that might have been the last episode I saw before we cut basic cable. Is Margaret Qualley hot to you? That's a tough one. She seems dumber than a bag of Brussels sprouts. Her mom and her, that's the part of the problem is every one of these Nepo has a hotter mom. Okay, with one exception. That Lenny Klume is the final boss of the Nepo babies. Because like it's like, look, if your mom is a model, legit supermodel, okay, she's a little bit shorter, but she is firing on all cylinders. Margaret, I keep wanting to say Margot, and I don't like her last name. Her mom, the chick from Groundhog Day, who was in like every other movie for a time, the 90s, right? Four weddings and a funeral. Is it three weddings and five weddings and a funeral? She's in whatever. Gray Stroke, right? Who I think was dubbed over by Glenn Close in that. But that's a movie I need to see again. See if that's streaming somewhere. Margaret Qualley, I would not quite give her hot. She kind of looks okay until she opens her mouth. Yeah. Is it skipping for... Oh no! Fledgling! Why does this skip? Is my phone not have enough free space? Like I've got 5 bars. It would be good. You know what? What if I switch to 5G? Would that be worse? Maybe I should do the next one on 5G. I don't think that'd be any better. We know what? My 5G has a better up. Okay, you know what? We're going to do that, okay? We're going to do that for you guys. We're going to try this out. And we're on 5G now. So from the point of which I said that, let me know if this is better. I'm sure I'm going to have a data problem doing this. Well, we went over your magenta because it wasn't magenta max. So, yeah, we're... God's sake, I don't know. Let me know if that improved things, okay? Dating apps gave women an inflated sense of attract. You're correct. Which men are now correcting by exiting apps. Yeah, probably so. Okay, not bad though. Okay, it's skipping bad. Let me know if it gets better. I hadn't thought about this 5G plan, but there's a possibility the 5G thing could be good here. Do you believe a lot of box office numbers are fake? Yes. And overinflated. Deadpool made $1 billion. The new Deadpool might have. But I know that, look, I know if you lie about this, you're going to pay more money on taxes. These companies have to keep the lie going. They can't be like, accept defeat and show the public that they are a dying medium. They have to get you to think that this is still an event. I think a lot of box office numbers are overinflated. Yes. What could fix modern cinema? In the next Star Wars movie, Rey Palpatine has a white boy, and he quickly becomes a better Jedi than her. And his name's Luke. Are studios losing a lot of movies as it makes seem... Losing a lot of money, you mean, making movies? As it seems like the theater experience is dead. We've now where you have to have a novelty popcorn tin to get people to show up. And people are just showing up to the theater to buy the tin and then go home. And then watch some crap on Netflix. The theater experience is so bad. They can't keep it clean enough, right? The seats are all... How do these seats get torn up? Do they let a pack of Marines have out at it when people have emptied out? Like, how does this happen? Shit, did you ever watch Hercules: Legendary Journey? Yeah, I used to watch some of that. That was syndicated, ran on like usually like a Saturday block with Xena Warrior Princess was around there. Sometimes they had a crossover. I think a Stargate would also play on that too. Saturday's syndicated shows, they were cheap and stuff. There was a you know, you could have a fondness for that, right? Those straight to first run syndication. I don't even think we have first run syndication anymore. I don't think the thing. Kevin Sorrentino, right back in the day, Lucy Lawless. I never found Lucy Lawless hot. She always looked old. Older than she's supposed. Like, she's like 28 and looks 45. And I don't know. I just never really found her that hot. She wasn't particularly ugly. The yee, you know, like the yelling thing she did, I wasn't really thing. There were some smoke show babes playing goddesses and stuff on those shows. There was like some fortune girl who wore nothing. There was that one girl with the black eyebrows and the blonde hair, and she was like Xena's nemesis on the show, and she was stacked. There were things going on those shows, that's for sure, yeah. But Lucy Lawless is not the hottest. Hollywood is also going out because they don't have real talent left, just DEI. Look at the quality of the movies, like back compared to any modern movie. Here's something to think about regarding the DEI situation. And it's not entirely related, but hell, Sony owns a movie studio too. Their game, they just lost an ass ton of money on Concord. Took 8 years to make and 8 days to die. I think someone had posted as their YouTube video on the but they're not learning their lesson entirely. Like, have some stuff that's not woke, Stellar Blade, right? But then they still want to do woke shit. Like, hey, let's have a woke activist be the face of our next samurai installment. That Ghost of Yokai, right? Like the Ghost of Tsushima, or is it Tushima? I never heard it pronounced. Usually the Japanese don't seem to pronounce the T when it has the S right there. But why go out of your way to make an activist who dabbles in acting the face of something? Especially if they're not already famous. Like, okay, we want Robert Downey Jr. Different than find us a dyke trans, whatever, you know, give us all the check boxes. Why are they doing this? Like, it does business sense at this point, right? But is there a tax incentive here? Like, if you do this, we'll make sure something else works out for you guys. Like, I don't understand it all. If they go out, if Sony keeps leaning that way while Microsoft backs off, could that potentially drive people towards Xbox? Will you join me at Xbox, brothers? Which streaming service currently is the best in terms of quality of content? Okay. I almost want to say Tubi. Look, make me president of Tubi, and it will be the biggest thing in a week. All to do, it's just simple. 4K with HDR and make it prevalent. The problem with Tubi, and it's the second most watched free streaming service behind YouTube, and it's not even close to YouTube, but it's doing pretty good, and it's owned by Fox, actually, but Fox. It has a lot to offer. It has a lot of weird stuff, and that's what I like. Because you go over on Netflix, they have like 5 movies from the 80s, and they're gone by the end of the month. You don't have a lot of variety on Netflix. You never did, and now it's even worse. And now most of it's Netflix originals, and you don't want that. But Tubi has a fatal flaw, and it's not the commercial breaks, which have been pretty lenient, and they haven't been as on me as Freevee, formerly IMDb TV over on Amazon. But 720p. We all have 4K TVs, probably OLED, 50-inch plus. I think I've got a 55 that I game on. I think it's a 55. Yeah, I think so. And the 720p is noticeable. Why? I know the service is free. I know a lot isn't in HD. But you could get stuff on there that is above 720p. You could do it, Tubi, and you choose not to. Let's clip that. How I'd save Tubi TV, whatever. But yeah, if you want to see some weird, or you're looking for something that is outside the mainstream, or, oh, that's an obscure movie, it's probably on Tubi. Why can't those things be elsewhere in better quality? Okay, like, what was it that I was watching or wanted to watch or something? It's just anything. And it's like, this can't be expensive to get the rights to, Netflix, but you're stupid. Did you ever watch Spartacus series stars? No, I did not. Lots of sex scenes. I know Lucy Lawless gets the boobs out. I know. Have you ever shot a gun before? Yeah, I've shot a few. It's a few years. Not at anybody, but yeah. I occasionally think I have to, but I mean, now I had to hear somebody say that there's a gang now of people that's over the border, and they call it like the dinner time gang because they homemade at dinner time. So I was like, oh, I'm tired. It's 7 o'clock. It was shit. Now I got this gang I have, but then I won't come by at 7:30 when I'm doing my stream. I have knives that I keep around just in case and all this other shit. So yeah, but yeah, okay. Do you know what the Paro movement is? I've heard of this. Black guys going to South America where the women less hoe than here, or less needy and corrupted by the culture. Yeah, I'm familiar with this. Why don't you move to Argentina? You already said that, Monty. Ready Player One was terrible, in my opinion. I haven't watched it. I know it's directed by Steven Spielberg. It struck me as nostalgia bait, the movie. Creatively bankrupt. Just put in anything liked. Put it in one movie, and then you have to like our movie. It struck me as that, just from the concept alone. I am actually trying to write a novel about competitive gaming and stuff, and it may have, it'll certainly be, not as much of such like that, but try to have look, it's like this. You guys, nobody's watching, so I'll go ahead and tell you. In order to make money on the novels, the YA novels, or anything like that, you have to write for women. Women read books, men do not read books. So that is the reason why Harry Potter is a big deal, is because Hermione is actually the hero. He always comes to her. She does all the stuff. She knows all the spells today. It's kind of like Inspector Gadget. She's Penny and Brain, and Harry Potter's Inspector Gadget, right? So the girls are like, oh, we know who the real hero is. So you have to consider that. You have to have that possibility in there for the women to gravitate towards. You have to write for the female audience in that regard. But there's a possibility of a sort of genre that I don't think's been tapped into. And then if I get this, they're going to be like, wow, we want to make the movie. I'm like, oh, I'm directing, right? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, move along, whatever. I'll wait till New Line Cinema, and then they'll let me direct and star, something like that. So yeah. Why do you hate Florence Pugh so much? She came on the scene as getting my boobs out for attention in small ass shit. And they're not even good. There's something hideous about her body. It's very gnomish. And looking at her, you feel a little pedo. It seems like there's something too young and undeveloped about her. I don't find her acting to be good. I've seen really cringe shit from her in Black Widow movie, and then they have to put her in the Thunderbolts, which also makes me not want to watch that. It's you come with one reason to not watch this crap, and then you realize there's several more, right? How's the 5G working, guys? Okay, Rebecca Ferguson or Scarlett Johansson. Rebecca Ferguson, reluctantly, in part because I really hate Scarlett Johansson. When is Cobra Kai going to come back? I don't know. Part 2. Okay, let's say it like this. If you have a season, and you're going to say part 1. Part 2 should probably be in the same calendar year. I'm assuming it could be within the next month. Did they say November or something? They might have said. I think they actually said November. I kind of recall possibly saying that in my video. Right? Familiar? Do you think Westerns could come back? Yellowstone is one of the few genuine popular streaming shows, it seems. No, it is not. Yellowstone is a basic cable show. It's a Paramount Network. It is not on Paramount Plus because they decided not to... That they had the show going before they made Paramount Plus, but they had CBS All Access, so I don't know why they couldn't put it over there. Instead, it's over on Peacock. At least for the... And then it'll probably get moved to Paramount Plus. But then all their spinoffs are on Paramount Plus. Point I'm getting at, it's not a streaming series. People have misrepresented Yellowstone as a streaming series. It is not a series. It's very weird. They will call all the bullshit Netflix TV, and then they call Yellowstone a streaming series. Dumbasses. Not calling you a dumbass. The media told you it was a streaming series. I see it written out by AI. You can't believe any article you read anymore. Everything seems like it's written by AI. It probably is. So, I don't think Westerns are making their comeback. I thought they would with Yellowstone, but look at this Horizon project. How did he think it was going to work? Did he ever get the second movie out? There's supposed to be a shitload of movies coming, right? But everybody's going to wait for the collect available to mass purchase a bundle or watch on a streaming platform. It goes. I don't know what Kevin Costner, his ego got big again, and he thought he could do things the way he used to. So, and I've heard, decent reception to this. It's an American Saga thing, but oh man, that's not a smart play. Also similar to that Metropolis. It looks terrible. And for the last 20-some years when, Francis Ford Coppola tries to make something, it looks like a dirt cheap indie film made by a film. I don't know how he fell off like that, but he just decided to keep rolling the damn hill. Okay, what else do we have here? American Horror Story 2, American Season 2, pretty good. What is the crime? The American Crime Story, wasn't that a... Oh, wait, hold on. Is that the Menendez brothers thing? I've been seeing... It's like some kind of gay series, the way these guys are climbing on each other when I open Netflix, and that's their teaser image for it. But I think that's what you're talking about. The first thing, wasn't that an OJ situation? I did like American Horror Story. That was pretty good when I was watching it. Once it got to the freak show thing, that's when I dipped out after like an episode or two. But I was liking that show. I thought that it was really cool being an anthology where you got a self-contained story in a season. And then the essentially the company returns for the next play in a way. It felt like a playhouse in that sort of regard. Kanye did say Diddy was a Fed. He did. But Kanye says a lot of stuff. So, eventually some of it's true, right? And I didn't mean to sound Heartbreak Kid right there when I said, all right, like that, whatever. Sopranos sucked a little bit fever. One is the only good season, really. That's the way a lot of things are. The one is where they had their ideas. And then they have to think about how we're going to stretch the shit, right? And that's the way most shows go, if we're being totally honest. There are shows that improve, that do take some time, that have such an ambitious, like Star Trek TNG, or maybe The Simpsons, where it took a little bit of time, and then they took, then we're off to this. There are shows that are like that, but that is definitely an outlier. Why am I not running a damn channel? I know it's too late to run a successful... But I could have done this, when it mattered, right? I wanted to have a show on FX. I thought they were the cable channel. 2005 or something. They seemed like they allowed shows to gain an audience. I don't even know if they're a thing anymore. Now I see this FX on Hulu, but it's actually a Hulu series. And oh wait, is the American Crime Thing is that the one with the Patriots tight end instead, or is that Menendez? Oh, yeah, it's like that's a Hulu thing. It's like FX on Hulu, but it's not FX then, or if it is on FX, it's censored. I don't know. 100% on Sopranos being budget Goodfellas. It really is. 90% of the cast was in Goodfellas, which, by the way, I would actually say best American mafia movie, Goodfellas. Sorry. Well, I guess Casino's 1, 2. Sorry, Casino. Sorry, Godfather 1 and 2. Goodfellas. I keep going back to that scene with the Shine Box scene with Joe Pesci, and then they actually brought that to iCarly. Have you tried watching those two together? It's kind of funny that they worked that in. Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. Mad Men, first couple of seasons were good, but the last few seasons were kind of Mad Men. Kawan Calendar, are you new here? I don't recall this name here. I could be mistaken. Mad Men was the first couple of seasons, but then they got woke. How does that show get woke? Isn't it about womanizers they do and smoking in the office? Because it's the 60s. Walking Dead, the first 3 seasons were good, but I like it. But I didn't like the last couple. No one likes the end. It kind of seems once Rick left, that was the signal to kind of find something else to do. Most people kind of feel like that's where the show ended, essentially, spiritually. Walking Dead source material, very woke, and they doubled down with the show. I heard they actually ended the comic book, which I found that seemed like an unusual move. Kind of seemed like, why end one of the few comics that was popular? I don't know. I think Game of Thrones were the Tudors, but fake history. That's why I didn't really watch it. I watched all 8 seasons, but I don't have reason to watch it now. I don't think people were to it, It's just got such a mammoth cast that you really have to keep notes. It takes 10 minutes to get through the intro to introduce everybody. And you only see the dwarf every 3 episodes or something. Because it's I check in with these people this week. I thought the main guy there is no main guy. Now we check in with them. Now we're going to go with this guy over here. Very unfocused. It's basically soap opera, edgy soap opera, Lord of the Rings. That's what it is. Okay. You said going to the theaters is boomer thing. Will all movie theaters close they may retool to the boomer. They could say, hey, we know we have an old audience now, so we're just going to start releasing more rated R stuff. We're going to release more things that made for being in the theater as they'll give you a crap where it's you got to see Oppenheimer. It was made for IMAX and you don't have IMAX at your house. They'll give you that kind of shit, right? But probably see more movies released with an adult audience in mind. Think Stranger Things, but not kid angled. A lot of member berries on occasion. And no real concern for bringing in the youth that are not showing up, right? Streaming shows feel a lot cheaper than what they claim the budgets are. No kidding, Christ's sake. I didn't watch The Acolyte, but I've seen the clips and things, and it doesn't look like it costs that much. I guess I could, in theory, I could start watching the Lord of the Rings Power or whatever. Was it $1 billion for one season? How do you spend $1 billion on a streaming series that has no celebrities attached? You're telling me there's $1 billion, then Julia Roberts has to play a maid. I can't wrap my head around that. And then from what I've seen of it, it doesn't look as polished as Peter Jackson's stuff, which didn't cost as much. So what the hell? Like, how does this work? Is it all about laundering? Is that how it all really comes down? Are they lying about these budgets? Like, I know the price of doing this stuff has gotten insane because of unions. What is your dream job? I don't even know anymore. I mean, you can't do anything that used to be a dream job, really. You have to, you make an upstart. Oh, yeah. Open AI. Now it's switching over to a profit model. So not all that open anymore, huh? Now you're turning a non-profit into a for-profit so you can run off and become a trillionaire is what it is. Yeah, you have to be at the front of this tech stuff or you are completely left behind. The tech stuff is all consuming now. Because look, if you're not a star quarterback or you're not related to LeBron James, you're getting left behind unless you tech stuff. So it's kind of like all of us should be tinkering in garage trying to figure out how to make a replicator and or a teleporter. Because if we can't do that, we're screwed. There, I'll bookmark that for a rant. Do you think the Diddy stuff will hurt Hollywood as much as, like, Me Too Weinstein? Did it, Hollywood? They have a way of rebounding out of, don't they? Like, in a weird way. Like, oh, it's never over for them. They go to somewhere else. Netflix should have been stabbing Hollywood. Instead, it just recruited the people from Hollywood to ruin Netflix. These things that play like the outsider, Hollywood just becomes them. Hollywood is the damn Borg. I'll bookmark that too. That sounds like a decent rant thing right there. Limbo Story. Limbo Story? Are you here because of my video explaining the ending to Limbo? Is that why you're here, Joel? That was a good game. I got to play that game a couple weeks before it came, if that's what you're asking about. So I actually completed it before most people. Way back in, 2010 or 2011 or something? But did you like the original Lord of the Rings trilogy? No. I mean, there were things I found okay about it, but it's just a slow walk up a hill. And then we have to, on occasion, defend a castle that's built on the side of a mountain against faceless goons. But our guys have magic and the armor is thick. No, I didn't really care for it. It also took itself so damn serious, and I think that's kind of its edge. Because people expect that the sorcery genre stuff to be cheesy, and it was going for like drama. And so that made it kind of get it from the crowd. But I don't think that was enough to make it that coming to me, really. Who will be on top in 10 years, DC or Marvel? DC will be lucky to be around. The way Warner Brothers Discovery is being ran, I expect property to get sold. And it may not even be DC entirely. It might even be DC broken up. It might be Batman joins Marvel. Like, that is an scenario that is a possibility now. It's just a complete mismanagement over there. And I guess this Zaslav guy can't be fired or something. Like, what is stop? How are companies ran? Shit. James Gunn has a shady history and a weird trajectory into the Hollywood. There's probably dirt on him. Why isn't he dug up? Does he have too many allies? Because he was with Marvel, he's with DC. Like, what is it? Tarantino said that movies on streaming like these Ryan Reynolds exclusives weren't watched by the majority. It is true. The movies that are made for the streaming platform, they feel incredibly expendable. It's like if you really liked this, if you really had faith in it, it would be in theaters. That's the train of thought, right? That's how I feel about the broadcast TV shows now. What TV shows are coming out this fall season? I haven't seen shit. And it was like that last year and the year before. We could have had some excuses. We could have said, "Oh, hey, it's COVID or strike." You know, they had excuses, but then they don't have excuses after a point. It's kind of a weird deal. So, if they had any faith in these shows, they would be on their respective streaming platform. Every one of the TV networks has a streaming platform. It's not like they don't have that option. The stuff they have faith in would go to the exclusive platform. I'm almost surprised that Netflix isn't coming up with more ways to charge us. Like, hey, you want to watch the new Ryan Reynolds movie? You have to rent it in addition to Netflix subscriber. Like, how come they haven't pulled that one out, right? I'm surprised we don't have to pay to watch Mike Tyson murder Jake Paul. I don't get out of shorts, but I check for them. They are entertaining. Thank you. I put some effort into them. Would you date the mattress girl Emma Silk? What mattress? Mattress girl Emma Silkowitz? The purple mattress girl? Is that the mattress girl? She seemed kind of cute, and maybe not a whore. I don't know. I did that purple mattress was one of the first ads where I was, I'm gonna watch this whole damn ad. I can click skip, but this is kind of entertaining. I didn't ultimately get a purple mattress, but point. It's good. Skipping. Oh, they're skipping on the 5G. Oh, wait. You said 5G helped a lot. Okay. And when I get damn fiber going, that's going to be the shit. I think 5G is really bad for my battery, though. I'll tell you that. Do you have any thoughts on Gamergate 2? What is Gamergate 2 at this point? Is this the backlash against the diversity games where we're at now? I haven't heard the term Gamergate 2 in official capacity to know where this all lies. Tickets are too expensive, correct. I remember them being cheaper 5 years ago, or even that. The first time I paid $10 for a movie was in college. This was, I think it was early 2008, and I was aghast. It was a bad movie, but it was a special showing thing. The director I knew and like this. But then that became like the norm, and now it's over 10. It's like, $12 for matinee and shit. The reason the ticket goes up, and it's like cable. People leave cable, and how do they not lose money over there at the cable companies? By charging the people that remain more money to make up the difference. Your movie tickets. Less people go to the movies, so how do we keep making charge more money to the people that still come? Okay, hold on. You asked about the Gamergate. I really miss they making shows with that kind of woman like Lucy Liu and Xena. Lucy Liu. And I love lines in the ported lesbians. This I didn't understand. I was low older, but we watch. Is English not your first language there? Like, what was going on there? Would you rather have 10 million subs demonetized or $10 million in the 1800s? Man, $10 million in the 1800s made you a god, did it not? I guess I could roll with that, sure. I was thinking, even if I was to get my consciousness like Wolverine did in Days of Future Past, if I could go back to like 2001 to solve all the world's problems, I would be like, oh man, I can't just put my hand in my pocket and pull a phone out that has the internet. I'm screwed. That alone is making me think about not doing the time travel. Possibly. I think if that's a postmodern way people write nowadays is so everything is so postmodern. Oh, you're right. That the point everything that people teach in college is writing is postmodern. There's a lot of deconstructing. Hey, it's my turn to do this. What am I going to do? I'm going to deconstruct the first person shooter. I'm going to deconstruct the Lord of the... No one's asking for your, weird fic made official by virtue of how connected you are. That's the problem with these people that get these jobs, right? At least I think that's what I think. Do you hang out with friends in person? Not often. Might have some friends come by in a bit. And I mean in a bit, like shit, maybe Thanksgiving. A lot of people moved around, and a lot of friends in high school I don't want to run into because they're going to tell me about people I don't want to know are still alive. And that's going to make... So I would rather just not know. That's how you win, guys. You go on assuming the hot chicks are still hot or dead, and the douchebag boyfriend's dead or in prison dying. You don't want to hear people are doing better than you. That's how you win. Ignorance. So yeah, I keep my distance from whoever I can. How do you fix feminism? I wonder if at some point they can get bored with feminism. As if it's a trend. There's an ebb and a flow to it. I don't know. You didn't say you would watch the Legend of White Dragon film. I probably wouldn't. I wasn't really high on the Power Rangers. It was coming up as I was segueing out of that kind of stuff. It was a show that come on as I needed to get on the bus to go to school or something, so I could catch like 10 minutes if I wanted or something. It wasn't something I was with, really, the Power Rangers stuff. I haven't even seen the Power Rangers movies, okay? Do you consider nudity in film the same as sex in films? That's almost the same. I think it's actually like there's almost a lost art to the sex in the film without the nudity, while also not being terrible. And then like implying things like there is a lost to the subtlety to some of this stuff. Did you like Brian De Palma's 80s run of films? Which would that be? Blowout? Blowout was okay. Blowout was all right. Scarface, I'm not crazy about. But maybe that's because I'm not a rapper, and every rapper has to have a scarster. What else did he make in the 80s? There were some things he made that I've been wanting to watch, but they're not streaming. That one with Rebecca Romaine, I think Roger Ebert really liked it. It had a one-word title or something. I can't remember what it is. I did like his Impossible, which isn't it amazing that First Impossible made as much money as it did, being that it played so unconventional and it was so incredibly confusing? It would seem audiences must have been smarter in 1996. I don't think today's audience handle that as an entry point of anything. And I don't even think there were possibilities of making it a franchise. I thought it was originally presented only like a one-off. Damn, I have to go. Peace out, Vaughn. Keep doing what you do. That's what I have to do. I do what I have. James Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does because Von Fry does what he has to do only because he's not allowed to do anything else. Something like that, right? James Cameron, the bravest pioneer. No budget too steep. No, who's that? It's him, James Cameron. Did you ever watch True Detective Season 1? No, but I've seen one scene from it enough that I've essentially watched the entire season. I think you know by that. All right, we're at the end of this. We're at 90 minutes. I think this is probably a good time to wrap this up. I've drinking enough Celsius to now spend the rest of my night getting bossed around by children in. So I guess that's what I am looking forward to. And I'll keep a knife handy in case they want to brown your small town and gangs show up and shit. Because if you stab some intruders, and you make a scene and they have to talk to you on local news and you bring your A material from your stand-up, that is, you become the new Hawk Tua. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I have to have some good way to sign off here. I forgot. I guess we better wrap this up before I say something racist.